Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and game 2 in the series between Polt versus Hero, game 2 taking place on Dual Site. Hero spawning as the blue Protoss player at the 3 o'clock position, meanwhile Polt spawning as the red Terran player here at the 9 o'clock position. Now, Terran versus Protoss, this map has relatively long walking distances, but there is a lot of room to flank and maneuver on a map like Dual Site. Normally, a lot of the players have been saying that Dual Site is generally a very good map for Zerg players, but not but in this Terran versus Protoss matchup, I don't think it really favors any one particular player. So we'll see what will go down, what will happen here as the game does get underway. SCV is currently just mining, and we'll see if Polt opens up with that very aggressive double racks opening that we saw him do in game 1. Now, it generally worked better in game 1 because Hero had tried to go for a much more economic opening, delaying his gateway and his cybernetics core. We can see that the barracks will be established. It is not being built on the front door. And so I believe Polt will later establish double supply depots here as he did in game 1. Meanwhile, Hero going in for the much more traditional standard gateway play, as he is building the gateway at I believe the 12 or 13 mark. And then we'll be able to establish up an assimilator, get up another pylon, and then a cybernetics core, as every good Protoss player pretty much opens up with a very similar strategy, and then it starts to branch out from there. A probe will be able to make its way up the ramp well before the barracks is completed, and the probe will get a lot of scouting information. The refinery has already been established, and the key thing to look at now is whether or not Polt is going to be building a supply depot. If he doesn't build a supply depot, it will be that very aggressive 2 racks build that we saw in game 1. If he does build a supply depot, oh, there's that barracks now, so he is going for that double racks again. He should be able to add on a reactor right here, and then add on a tech lab later here. And this is really a strong opening that I've seen a lot of Terran players use, specifically against Protoss. The reason why it is such a good build against Protoss specifically is that, probe is going to be able to sneak back inside once more, but pretty much sees everything it needed to see. You can see that the gateway is being built or is done. Cybernetics core will be done, and we are now going into double assimilators, meaning that we should be getting a lot of one stalker followed up with a lot of sentries. Sentries very, very strong opening for Protoss players, as they can expand off of one gate, expand with a lot of sentries for defense. That Guardian Shield very effective at dealing with Marines, reducing the amount of damage that they do from 6 down to 4 or even down to 3 when attacking the actual hit points of any gateway unit. Now, supply depot is going to be completed here. We are going to go into double Marines, get a concussive shell, and get those Marauders into play. And now just trying to get in a whole bunch of supply depots on that front door. We can see that a Stalker is currently walking in between these 2 bases. Polt needs to move away with that SCV. It doesn't look like he'll be able to. He is moving away with that SCV in time. Stalkers will be able to hold the fort. As now Hero, what is he doing? Hero is now going in for 2 additional gateways, 3 gateways behind this, and he is currently sitting on only 23 harvesters, still training up some, but what I originally thought was going to be a 1 gate expand is actually in fact turning into a non-standard 4 gate timing. The warp gate tech, you can see that the proxy pylon is already set up. Hero is going to be able to knock on this front door, and it is going to be up to Polt to really try and defend. SCV now needs to scour the map, try to figure out where his opponent exactly is. SCV now making its rounds. Marines and Marauders already pushing out, and this is not going to be good, as units will be able to warp in almost at the front door of Polt. Polt does have a rally straight in with the rest of his army already. The probe now attempting to run away. We should perhaps see 1 round of warp in, and then having a lot of sentries on the ramp here. Currently there are 3 sentries in this group, but some of the sentries already have enough energy for 2 force fields. So with these 3 sentries, he should be able to block down that ramp for perhaps a good 2 minutes or so, based upon all of the amount of energy that he already has. No, Hero deciding to warp in units on the defensive end, and now in comes the Stalkers. The Stalkers going to battle it up, and there's the force field splitting up all the Marines, and beautifully played. The force fields making it so that many of those Marines are unable to engage, and wow, what a huge victory for Hero, as Hero has dealt a devastating blow, as now all the units now need to retreat. But unbeknownst to him, there's already a proxy pylon set up on the far side of the map. Activating the Xel'Naga Tower would be a great call right now to see exactly where the rest of the units are. But in come the units on the front door. Polt is he going to be able to raise up those depots in time? He does raise up the depots. Not quite sure why the units just didn't simply stand there. Sentries and Stalkers now trying to engage again. The supply depot will fall. One supply depot does get taken out. More Marines and Marauders coming over. And that really felt like a misplay, as we now see Marines trying to run up the ramp here. Zealots are going to be coming in from the back. And what is going to happen here is as these units will not be able to stutter step nearly as much. SCVs are off the mineral line. Polt is supply blocked right now. Sentries coming in. Force fields, both sides battling out. No, not that much micro coming in from Hero, as the SCVs tank a lot of the damage. And let's take a look at the worker kill count. 5 workers killed versus 3. Harvester kill count 20, or Harvester count 23 versus 25. And it really felt like Hero could have been much more successful with this engagement. But so far, he is still the aggressor in this engagement now. There is a couple supply depots up here on the high ground. SCVs now being brought over. Every time those SCVs are brought over and are not mining, that is critical units lost for Polt. Polt needs to try to train up even more units. He's getting into that starport as the Zealots are now simply charging up the ramp. There's the force field. Zealots now trying to make their way away from the Marines and the Marauders. And with that, backing off again the Marines, looking to perhaps put down a little bit more pressure. The bunker now being established, and now a factory going to complete this wall-in attempt. No sight up onto the high ground yet. Oh no, the Zealots may be able to get up there. Are they going to be able to do that? SCV is not taken down. The SCV is taken down now. SCV should perhaps finish off this one bunker here. Zealots now getting stuck in a weird position, as the bunker is now being repaired. Not enough force fields, excuse me, as the SCV is now trying to go in after those sentries. One Zealot in the group pretty much saying, hey, I want to join in on the fight, but I am just going to get pummeled and absorb damage for you guys, as the Stalkers are the main source of damage here. So far, it looks as though Hero will be able to warp in a Nexus right behind this. Command Center already done, already upgraded to an orbital. So Polt, if he can fend off this attack, should be able to get back into this game economically speaking, as the Nexus is still not completed. More units now warping in. There's a force field trapping units on the low ground, and now the medevacs need to come in. And now here we go. Stalker one at a time will get destroyed. The Zealots are going to finish off the Marines, most likely, as the medevacs are now forced to retreat. No, I'm not quite sure why the Zealots and the Stalkers didn't charge up the ramp there. As all the units were stuck inside the medevac, they would be unloaded one at a time. But then again, Polt does have home field advantage, able to train up more units. And now we'll see what will be happening next. Polt sitting on 18 SCVs versus 28 probes for Hero. And with Hero soon to be on 2 bases, he will have a very strong economic lead. Polt does currently have a food lead though, but I don't think that's going to really translate, as Hero, as soon as he gets another round of warp in, will take over that advantage in just a second. So there you go. More warp-ins still happening. Currently, supply block Nexus about to be completed, as we now have an engagement in the center portion of the map. The Marines and the Marauders stimming way too far. The Zealots now going to turn around. Stalker is going to focus down Marauders one at a time. Oh, medevac, beautiful pickup. Some beautiful pickup coming in from Polt, picking up a Marauder right as it's about to die to a Disruptor Blast. And now Stalker's up on the high ground, going to perhaps be able to pick off some units there. Hero with the high ground advantage, forcing the medevacs to stay nearby. This is not looking good. Polt once again with the factory on the front door, and Hero is behind in terms of food. This is not good news. 28 versus 22. There are 8 Stalkers versus 4 medevacs, 4 Stalkers, and 12 Marines. The Marines are going to definitely be the difference here, unless some force fields can really disrupt the play. Polt now Polt now just trying to train up even more units. We'll see how this is all going to work out. Stalkers are on the defensive. 8 Stalkers, 2 Zealots, 2 Sentries, and here we go. Oh, the Stalkers need to engage. Where are the force fields? No force field. Jet probes need to come off the mineral line. 1 force field, 2 force fields, not that effective. The probes need to really engage here, and this is not looking good as the kiting and the stutter step of Polt simply too much. In comes a round of Zealots now. The probes are still not fighting back. They are not chasing after those units. They are not absorbing any damage. And I believe Polt is going to take the victory here, as he's going to be able to really counteract Hero a little bit late in pulling his probes. The factory now going to be landing, preventing many of the Stalkers from engaging all at once. The probes need to engage. The probes are now all stuck. Zealots now trying to make their way in. But Hero now down to 26 food. And there is the GG. So Hero losing 2 straight games to Polt. Stay tuned to Game 3.